State Bill 545 was not a solution. It was part of the problem. I was on the steps of the Caltrans department listening to Gil Cedillo, who was giddy with glee when he was announcing that SB 545 was the first step in the completion of the tunnel. I don't think that SB 545 should have been supported by the City Council. I think it's weakened our position amongst the other cities. It was a mistake. I believe that the way to oppose it is to join forces, as I said before, with the other surrounding cities and with Anthony Portantino, who is a strong advocate against the tunnel and a strong advocate for the solution, which is its removal from the state highway map and the sale of the properties. SB 545 was no solution. There could always have been SB 546, which could have legislated that that the surface route is the only solution. So it gave us nothing and weakened our position against the tunnel and the freeway.
Thank you. We have, pardon the pun, but I'm going to drill down a little deeper on this. And the final question, this is the final question regarding this, this threat. And it has to do with a matter of style. What can the voters expect once you get elected to office, if you do? There's an approach out there that's sort of nuanced. Maybe you fight the tunnel in a more subtle manner by saying, for the past 5 or 6 years, the city has taken an approach of not opposing sound research on a route-neutral board tunnel alternative. Meanwhile, you try to get the housing put back on the tax rolls. And then there's other folks that are out there saying, no, absolutely not. No tunnel, no surface route, no highway, no nothing. And I'd like to explore that as a matter of style. Which of those approaches is the appropriate one? Will you support continuing the city's current position of not opposing a route-neutral tunnel alternative study? And we begin with Philip Putnam.
For the third time in a row?
You can pass. Shall I move on?
Well, I just wanted to know what the format was here.
as long as you're answering the question.
All right, then reset my clock. Since you said when we started you were going to rotate the questions, and I'd be happy to go.
Thank you.
By the way, in listening to everyone answer these questions, it's like hearing a Federal Express commercial because we all have to speak so quickly. SB 545, by the way, was supported by our special counsel, Antonio Rossman, and our special counsel, Jan Chatham Brown, and many others who urged us to do this. And part of the approach I will take is the same approach I've always taken, which is to listen to what everyone has to say before I take a position on an issue. I always have taken a thoughtful approach to problems, and I'll continue with a thoughtful approach to this one. This particular issue isn't about a slogan, just say no. This is about a thoughtful approach and a long-range thinking approach to solving our problems. We can't do it in the short term. We have to think many moves ahead. It's like a chess game. We have to anticipate what our opposition is going to do and try to counter each and every one of those moves. And that is one of the skills that I bring to the table at the City Council.
Thank you. Michael, nuanced or black and white thinking?
You've got to be nuanced, Scott. And like I've said for many years, it's not just a chess game, it's a multi-dimensional chess game. It's not Caltrans against South Pasadena. It's Caltrans and dozens of other federal, state, and local agencies and dozens of cities fighting us to push this freeway down our throat because they want to improve, quote, regional transportation. When I led the effort in 2001, 2002, when I got into council to bring together a solid team with Tony Rossman, Mike Roos, council members, listening to the community, we determined to take a neutral position. As a result of that neutral position, in 2003 and 2004, when I was mayor, Federal Highway Administration withdrew their support for a surface freeway. And one of the reasons, there was 5 or 6 reasons in there, they said because the parties are talking about a possible surface freeway. And what that has also done is brought other people to the table because when you look at the 5 options, it's going through Montecito Heights, Highland Park, and they've realized the impacts and they're coming on our side. If we'd never done that, we wouldn't be at the table and this would never have happened. We'd be facing a freeway surface down our throats any time right now.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Sherman?
The city's position has been for the multi-mode, low-build solution to the problem. We must start by first understanding what the problem is. That's the movement of containers from the ports. And there is a solution, and it doesn't necessarily involve a tunnel. I think we have to start at the root of the problem, identify the problem, then identify a viable solution. Rail is a very viable solution to movement of the containers. We need to step back and start at the beginning. SCAG, Southern California Council of Governments had a very interesting study that came out, about 3 months ago. And their study projected out to the year 2030. And that study showed there would be still, at 2030, with or without the tunnel, there would still be congestion on the freeways, and there would still be congestion on Fair Oaks, and still be congestion on Fremont. We need to step back and look for long-term solutions to the problem, not start with the idea that we need to build a tunnel or a freeway. We need to step back.
Thank you. All right. Before we get into